Tonight on News 3 Now at 6, it finally feels like summer. What firefighters and paramedics are saying about how to stay safe in the heat. And Shake the Lake is tonight, and police are trying something new this year to keep an eye on the crowd. Plus, the largest turnout ever at Wisconsin's biggest women-only disc golf tournament.
From the Channel3000.com Alert Center, this is News 3 Now at 6.
Thanks for joining News 3 Now at 6. I'm Amanda Quintana. Just into the Channel 3000 Alert Center, Dane County Dispatch confirms they're responding to reports of a missing swimmer on Mant Parkway in Stoughton. Officials say they were called at 4:53 this afternoon. Stoughton Fire and police are currently on the scene. We will continue following this story and update you on Channel3000.com. There are a lot of outside activities going on today, like the farmers market and Shake the Lake, but the high temperatures could be dangerous. Gabriella Becerra joins us with how to stay safe in this heat.
That's right. As the temperature is rising, it's important for people to remember to take care of themselves. I spoke with firefighters and paramedics about the safety measures people should be taking when they're spending time outside in the heat. The sun is out and the temperature is high.
On days like today, people burn the candle at both ends.
And with the heat,
people have more output than they have intake, and then that's where people get heat exhaustion and they get heat stroke.
Comes the responsibility to take care of yourself.
Common sense is probably the most important part about spending time outside on a day like today.
Firefighters and paramedics say it's important to find shade and drink plenty of water.
My recommendation is take frequent breaks, make sure that you get inside, get air conditioning, and then also that you're hydrating throughout the day.
That's what I did today. This side, I think, has the most shade this morning.
Allie Ward enjoys spending days like today outside.
If I'm going to be here for a while, I'll look for a shady spot.
If you're going to be drinking, it's important to take extra caution.
We understand that people are going to be out drinking alcohol today. They're going to be on the lakes. They're going to be having fun. But we want to encourage people to drink water throughout the day.
Murray says alcohol can impair the symptoms one would experience with heat exhaustion.
Dizziness, fatigue, general weakness. Usually people know when they're hitting the wall. They need to get out of that heat, drink some water, get into a cold, air-conditioned environment.
Paramedics say that if someone is experiencing symptoms of heat exhaustion and have altered mental status, they are in danger of needing emergency care.
All right, thank you so much, Gabriella. Some important tips. And now that the heat is upon us, it's time for a reminder to watch out for your pets as well. All dogs are susceptible to overheating. Dogs with full coats and flat noses are especially quick to overheat. They need shade and cool, clean water available at all times. No matter your good intentions, taking dogs in cars where you will need to leave them even for less than 5 minutes can cause them harm. Even with cracked windows, heat can cause brain and organ damage and even death in just minutes. According to the American Veterinary Medical Association, hundreds of pets needlessly die in cars every year. Let's get a look at your first alert weather with Dave Caulfield out on the patio. Those are definitely some good tips to keep in mind this weekend.
Yeah, absolutely. With these hot and humid conditions expected to last at least the next couple of days across southern Wisconsin, the only thing that might save us from the heat and humidity is the chance for some strong thunderstorms. We'll talk about that a little bit later on. But right now in Madison on the WISC-TV Skycam, temperatures are close to 90. In fact, I think we topped off at 89 earlier this afternoon, 88 right now, but it feels like 93. Our high temperatures in some other spots, 95 in Mineral Point, 92 in Boscobel and Prairie du Chien, and 90 even in Janesville. Temperatures right now are pretty close to those daytime highs, steadily building through the 80s throughout the afternoon, and it feels like 93 in Madison, 95 in Janesville, and the real hot spots, Mineral Point and Boscobel, feeling like 98 degrees, not the boy band, the heat index. Day planner as we head into tomorrow, temperatures will fall to around 70 degrees and it will be a quiet start to the morning, but by the mid-morning to late morning hours, we could be dealing with another round of potentially severe weather. We'll talk about that possibility, plus more storm chances into next week in your first alert forecast in just a few minutes.
Thank you, Dave. More local news. A woman who escaped from Huber Center in Baraboo Wednesday evening is still on the run. Sauk County police say Jasmine Rose Decora walked out of the center at around 6:30 Wednesday night while she was serving her sentence. Authorities are searching for Decora, but police could not confirm her current whereabouts or where she was last seen. Officials say the Sauk County District Attorney's Office will issue a warrant for arrest if she is found. A man's jaw is broken after he was punched in the face at the Sylvie last night. Chief Koval's blog says the 29-year-old victim was incapacitated from alcohol and unable to provide a statement, but a witness says they saw a person punch the man and they were able to give a limited description of their appearance. The downtown venue was hosting a mixed martial arts event. Madison police say a robber couldn't figure out how to drive a car after he stole its keys from a 69-year-old woman. The woman was getting out of her car in the parking lot of Westtown Mall just before 1 o'clock yesterday afternoon when a man approached her from behind and demanded her keys and phone. According to the police report, the woman struggled with the man, but he knocked her to the ground and took her keys. But then he struggled to figure out how to drive the car, eventually giving up and leaving the parking lot in a different car. That car was stolen from Warner Park on Thursday night. Police are looking for a 6-foot-tall man between 18 to 24 years old. He was last seen wearing black cargo pants and a black hooded sweatshirt. Madison police say they have a new tactic for keeping people safe at tonight's Shake the Lake event. They'll be flying drones above Monona Terrace in hopes of spotting issues as they're happening in order to get officers to people who need help. MPD will have 2 drones and a 10-person team in the field, in the mobile command post, and in the command center downtown. You can hear why police say this helps make them more efficient tonight on News 3 Now at 10. Around the state, a woman is dead and her husband is missing after a scuba diving incident on Lake Michigan near South Milwaukee. Police say the Coast Guard responded to a call from a dive boat that a person had surfaced and was unresponsive yesterday afternoon. That person, who officials say returned to the surface from a depth of 300 feet, was later pronounced dead. The Coast Guard then received another call from the same boat saying that one of the 3 other divers had become separated and was missing. Officials suspended the search for that second missing diver this afternoon.
We thought the first case was kind of a standalone, and then when we found out there was a second person missing, our boat went out, the helicopter refueled.
The Milwaukee County Sheriff's Office released the identities of those involved in this accident. The divers were 53-year-old Illinois residents James and Susan Wynn. A boat driver and 2 other divers on the boat were not hurt. The Milwaukee Police Department is saying goodbye to its 4th police officer killed in a little more than a year. Visitation services for Officer Koo Her were held this weekend at Good Hope Center in Milwaukee. His funeral will be Monday morning. Officer Her was driving home after his shift when he was killed by a hit-and-run driver in Milwaukee on June 18th. A man convicted of first-degree sexual assault of a child and child enticement will be relocated to Whitewater. That's according to the Rock County Sheriff's Office. Randy Eggleston will be moved on Tuesday. Rock County officials say notification is not intended to increase fear. Rather, it's our belief that an informed public is a safer public. Eggleston is required to comply with standard sex offender rules and cooperate with GPS monitoring. An expert on poverty says Wisconsin should raise its minimum wage and provide more help for families who are struggling despite record low unemployment. Officials say Wisconsin's poverty rate has remained stagnant for nearly a decade, fluctuating between 10 and 11%. The report says Wisconsin's poverty threshold for a 2-adult, 2-child household is just over $27,000. A former NYPD detective and 9/11 victim advocate has died. Earlier this month, Luis Alvarez spoke in front of Congress pleading for September 11th victims' compensation funds to be extended. He received a standing ovation. A short time after his plea to Congress, Alvarez entered hospice care after a 3-year battle with cancer related to his service on 9/11. He died today at the age of 53. President Trump is in South Korea tonight, where a visit to the demilitarized zone and a meeting with North Korea's leader Kim Jong-un is in the works. Earlier, the president attended the G20 summit in Japan, where he agreed with China's leader to reopen trade war talks. CBS News' Kenneth Craig has the latest.
President Trump and Chinese President Xi Jinping met for over an hour at the G20 summit in Osaka, Japan, to work out the agreement to restart trade talks. In a news conference, President Trump tamped down expectations.
This doesn't mean there's going to be a deal, but they would like to make a deal, I can tell you that.
The president said he would hold off on his threat to impose new 25% tariffs on some $300 billion in Chinese goods. He also said he agreed to remove some restrictions on Chinese tech company Huawei, which is the focus of a dispute between Washington and Beijing. In exchange, China agreed to buy American farm products, according to the president.
We're going to give them lists of things that we'd like them to buy.
No deadline was set for a formal deal to end the trade battle that has sparked concerns about the global economy.
President Trump also said he told Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe that the nearly 7-decade-old Japanese-American defense treaty should be revamped. Honda is recalling 1.6 million vehicles in the last phase of its efforts to replace potentially deadly Takata airbags. The recall affects Honda and Acura cars in the U.S. Honda announced the recall yesterday. Takata says a chemical drying agent used in the inflators could cause airbags to rupture, causing shrapnel to explode into passengers or drivers. The airbag issue led Takata to file for bankruptcy in June of 2017. The car company is urging owners or affected vehicles to seek free replacements immediately at authorized dealers. Coming up on News 3 Now at 6, cleaning up the weeds with a little help from our four-legged friends. How goats are helping the environment. A tribe of 40 goats are helping control noxious weeds and brush in Sun Prairie. The goats are coming from Goats on the Go, and they happily eat up a variety of plants that landowners might find unuseful or unnecessary. Today, the goats ate wild parsnip at the Smith Crossing Community Garden. Goat owner Dan Teeter says his goats can clear about an acre of land every 5 to 7 days without tearing up any property. The goats are also fenced in, so they're focused on clearing a specific area of land.
It's very high in protein. It's fabulous feed for them. It's better than I can put on my pasture. I have a pasture that's full of nice long grass and alfalfa and stuff. They prefer this stuff way more. It's like having employees that are smiling the whole time you take them to the job.
Clearing the wild radish for about a week after the garden is cleared and the produce is finished growing. A large portion of the produce will be donated to the Sunshine Place Food Pantry. Next up on News 3 Now at 6, there was the largest turnout ever at Wisconsin's biggest women's disc golf tournament. Today, we'll tell you just how many people competed.
It was a bit of a sweaty Saturday with high heat and humidity levels, but we could be talking about a stormy Sunday. Your forecast is coming up.
81 women competed today at the women-only disc golf tournament in DeForest this morning. The 6th annual tournament is the largest women-only disc golf competition held in the state. The Disc On Ladies League has 4 leagues throughout Wisconsin and 8 in the Midwest. Group organizers hope the turnout shows people how much the sport is growing, especially among women.
It's a sport that pretty much anyone can do, that it's a huge appeal to it, that it's low cost. It's a sport for all ages.
Disc golfers range from the ages of 20 to 70 at today's event. All players in all divisions played 2 rounds of 20 holes, from the short tee pads on holes to the red baskets. Competitors celebrated afterwards with a party, and many camped in the park throughout the weekend. Let's get a look at your first alert weather. Good that there wasn't any rain on those campers today, but it seems like they might have some tomorrow.
Yeah, there could be a few showers and thunderstorms, and some could be on the strong to severe side into tomorrow, but just a tough day to be outside for long periods of time. It felt like the mid-90s when you factored in that humidity to the heat in Madison today. Right now, our heat index is 93, but it could have been worse just to the south and west. Check this out across portions of central and western Iowa. Fort Dodge feeling close to 110 right now. So serious heat and humidity for much of the nation's midsection. On Doppler track, we noticed that the showers and storms developed well to the south of southern Wisconsin today. However, as we get into tomorrow morning and tomorrow early afternoon, we could see some colors lighting up on radar once again as another complex of showers and thunderstorms is possible. And as I mentioned, we do have a risk for some severe weather at times on Sunday during the late morning and early afternoon hours. I think that's the best chance of seeing those showers and thunderstorms rolling through from northwest to southeast. We'll go over that a little bit closer in just a little bit. So high temperatures today, just missing that 90-degree mark. We'll see once we get the evening update if we did in fact hit 90 degrees briefly in Madison. If we did, that would be the first time in basically a year. Last July 13th was the last time that we were at 90 in Madison. 95 the high in Mineral Point, 92 in Boscobel and Prairie du Chien. We can still see that humid haze off in the distance on the WISC-TV Skycam, looking closer to downtown Madison. Again, about 10 degrees above normal for this time of year. We typically should be in the low 80s. We're in the upper 80s today, but with that humidity, it felt a whole lot hotter in some spots. Right now, those temps in the upper 80s in Madison, still in the mid 90s in Mineral Point. It feels like 101 right now in Mineral Point, 98 in Boscobel, and 94 in Lone Rock. Remember, with heat, we talk about it a lot, but we also talk about how it's actually the #1 weather-related killer. It causes more fatalities than any other weather hazard, and about 135 people died in 2018 due to heat. So this is nothing to take lightly, and it will still be hot and humid over the next couple of days. Tonight, temperatures near 70, partly cloudy, mild and muggy. For tomorrow, a chance of showers and storms, especially in the morning hours. Very warm and humid with temps in the upper 80s. So pretty quiet overnight, but then as we get into the mid-morning hours, here's our next complex of showers and thunderstorms rolling through southern Wisconsin. Could have some more damaging winds as a part of this. Also some small hail and frequent lightning. Should get a break for the afternoon and evening hours of Sunday before another round of showers and storms possible late on Sunday into early Monday. And it could feel quite hot once again into Sunday with heat index values in the mid to upper 90s possible before those showers and storms roll through. Alert days in the forecast for Sunday and Monday, and then lots more shower and thunderstorm chances. The humidity sticking around as well. Temperatures will slowly but surely cool off through the 80s. But still, it's going to be tough to be outside, still pretty sticky as we head into the next week or so.
Yeah, even with those thunderstorm chances, you're just sticky.
Yeah. The humidity doesn't go anywhere with those thunderstorms.
Yeah, with that. All right, thank you so much, Dave. Wisconsin pros continue to represent on the national stage. Highlights from the U.S. Senior Open next in sports. And on Fox, after the Brewers game, new moms in northeast Wisconsin are getting more options when it comes to feeding their newborns. What's making a new breast milk dispensary a possibility? That's on Fox 47 tonight.
Wisconsin.
Well, plenty of teams making some moves with the free agency period starting tomorrow at 5 o'clock Central. The Bucks among them waiving George Hill yesterday, freeing up an additional $17 million in cap space thanks to Hill's non-guaranteed contract. So now former Buck, now free agent Nikola Mirotic will head back to Europe after 5 seasons in the NBA. The Athletic reporting that he will sign with Barcelona. Mirotic had a whirlwind last season, going from the Bulls to the Pelicans to the Bucks. He played in 14 games in the regular season for Milwaukee and played significant minutes in the playoffs. Steve Stricker and Jerry Kelly 1 and 2 on the leaderboard at the U.S. Senior Open heading into today's round 3. And the Wisconsin duo keeping the pace today. The par 3 fifth for Stricker knocks down the birdie putt. The Edgerton native shooting 4 birdies today. He's still on top of the leaderboard. Meanwhile, Jerry Kelly, fresh off of winning the American Family Insurance Championship last weekend here in Madison. Check out this approach shot here on 11. Lands so close. He would birdie that one, though. The leaders just finished up on 18. It's really Stricker's tournament to lose now. He's 6 strokes ahead of Kelly, who's actually alone in second place now at 12 under. The Brewers coming to the weekend just 1 game behind the division-leading Cubs in the NL Central. And even though the Pirates won last night, that's the first in 6 meetings that they've won against the Brew Crew. Some good vibes on the mound tonight, though. Brandon Woodruff getting the start, the guy who is the epitome of pitchers who rake. The Brewers are 7-0 in Woodruff's last 7 starts against division opponents. First pitch at 7:15. Meanwhile, overseas baseball fans in Europe getting a taste of what it's like to sit through a Yankees-Red Sox game. First inning, Yankees up 1-0. Didi Gregorius goes to center field. That's a 2 RBI double. 3-0 Bronx Bombers in the lead. The Yankees scored 6 runs in the top of the first. The Red Sox do respond on the bottom of the inning. 2 on, 2 out for Michael Chavis. 3-run home run off of Masahiro Tanaka. It was tied 6-6 at the end of the first. No joke there. Anyways, the final score of this one, Yankees win 17-13. 19 hits for the Yankees, 18 hits for the Red Sox, for all those wonderful fans in London. And to make sure they got the full experience, lots of traditional American baseball fanfare at the game too, like the sausage race, but it's the UK version. So you got Winston Churchill, Freddie Mercury, King Henry VIII, and obviously the Loch Ness Monster. Freddie Mercury won, by the way, by quite a bit there. Prince Harry and Meghan Markle also at the game for the ceremonial first pitch. They met with both of the teams as well before the game. Back here in Wisconsin, the Mallards changing it up for Thursday games in the month of July. They'll rename themselves the Wisconsin Cheese Curds, complete with new jerseys and a new logo. So why the change? Well, according to the team, cheese curds are, quote unquote, a cultural icon in Wisconsin. Can't disagree there. And I was really hoping that we would get some cheese curds, you know, to eat
Enjoy at the end. No,
but that's okay. I've heard no.
But that's pretty cool.
You remember a couple of weeks ago when you guys did get cheese curds?
Yes,
and someone didn't?
And I got like 2.
Sorry, Dave.
Oh, well, that's 2 more than me. So, speaking of numbers, we still have some high heat index numbers right now. 93 in Madison, feeling like 101 in Mineral Point, so a warm and humid evening. Could have some showers and thunderstorms as we head into tomorrow late morning. Some of those could be severe.
All right, thanks so much for joining us. Have a great night.